Well, let's move on. Let's talk about Inside Xbox, because that was the other event that we got yesterday. I want to let me say this here at the top. Like, I want to caution. I want to be cautious in the way we talk about these things. Like, I think we're tempted anytime that there's a countdown, anytime that there's an announcement of an announcement, that we talk about these things as if like this is a big event. Like, our other big event from yesterday was Inside Xbox, and we talk the state of play. It's going to be the next big event for Sony, and I think that even that small bit of language just places unrealistic expectations on these things that can't get met. Like, this was an event. This was something that happened. It is newsworthy. It doesn't have to be big, and I think the announcements that were made throughout kind of proved that it wasn't a big event. But run you through some of the stuff that was shown there. They showed Atlas Pirate MMO. Larry, did you watch the trailer for this or see any of the footage from this?
So I was in a situation where I couldn't have volume, so I literally watched without listening to a little bit of it. But yeah, I liked the meme that you put up. I think it was you that sent me that meme.
Oh, yeah, I tweeted it with Pam Beasley going in, showing Creed right. The two pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the same picture.
Corporate needs you to find the difference between these two pictures, Atlas and Sea of Thieves, because I was watching it with sound, and until the title card came up at the end, I was like, this looks weird. Like, it was that uncanny valley kind of thing of, it looks sort of like Sea of Thieves, and I think it is Sea of Thieves because it's a Microsoft event. But like, there was some footage of people walking around that didn't look like Sea of Thieves, but then there was footage of a guy digging in the sand and finding treasure, and I was like, that looks exactly like Sea of Thieves. And there was footage of like a ghost boat that looked exactly like Sea of Thieves, and I was like,
yeah.
Then it said Atlas. I was like, is this an expansion for Sea of Thieves? And so it got even weirder after, because it turned into like the guy, one of the MCs was like, now you may be looking at this and saying, this looks like Sea of Thieves. So let me bring out the creator to explain how this is different. And look, there are differences in the game. I don't want to sit here and talk as if they're, totally identical. The Atlas seems like a more hardcore kind of approach to the pirate life, where Sea of Thieves can be a little bit more arcadey, cartoony.
I saw some dudes ramp a boat over a mountain. So probably not happening in Atlas.
Yeah. So, but it was just a weird thing for Xbox to be like, we have this game that we've invested a shitload of money into, a shitload of messaging into, a shitload of marketing into. And we could really just use this time to talk about new content that's coming to it. But we're going to not only show you a game that looks like it, but we're going to show you a game that looks so much like it that we have to dedicate time out of this event to explain why they aren't the same.
When I came across it in Twitter, I did not, like, I was like half paying attention. I did not initially put together that this was from the Inside Xbox thing. And I thought that this was PlayStation's answer to Sea of Thieves. And then when I found out that it was on the same platform, this makes no sense. Like, it like, this is not a genre, right, where we need a bunch of games. Like, no one's clamoring, I'm a pirate MMO player.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that this was a great choice in what kind of game to release on Xbox in the current environment, but hey, here we are.
And Ubisoft just stepped out of their front porch holding a copy of Skull and Bones in their hand, and they were like, what the fuck, guys, come on. we were trying to get there too, which Atlas has been out, for clarity, it's been out on PC and it's coming to console now.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's how they kicked off the show. And I'm not going in any particular order here. I'm actually pulling this from an article that was put together by I want to give credit where credit's due here. From Chris Kohler over at Kotaku. He put together this little quick rundown that I'm going to run through. They showed some other trailers for Children of Morta, which looks really, really cool. It's like it's a roguelike where there's a cast of characters you get to choose from to play with that have different abilities and stuff. It looked really cool. Code Vein, which is coming out on September 27th. The Outer Worlds, they showed a trailer for October 25th. That's from the creators of the Fallout series. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you saw this trailer either, Larry, but very, very Fallout-esque, like 1950s training video. The animations look exactly like Fallout. And look, I get that it's from the creators of Fallout, but Fallout still exists and still has a fan base. And not everybody's going to look at this and realize it's from the creators of Fallout. And I think you're going to hear the word ripoff uttered quite a bit. Not that it's fair, but they didn't try to do too much to evolve from Fallout.
Again, it's about the perception.
Yes. So it still looks cool. I'm still going to play it. After Party, they showed a trailer for that coming on October 29th. Showed a trailer for Tropico 6, which is coming on September 27th. John Bernthal showed up to talk about Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Dude, John
Did he bring his
Bernthal.
duck?
No, he did not. John Bernthal's just fucking cool, dude.
I want to be that guy's friend.
Yeah. He just seems like a chill, down-to-earth guy. He kind of talked about like his method for because he plays the villain in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So he talked a little bit about like the acting motivation behind creating the character that he plays, which I thought was cool because, you know, you get a lot of behind the scenes looks in movies where guys talk about that. But when you start to get behind the scenes looks for video games, it's a lot of like over the shoulder for this animator. And like that stuff's cool to see. But we very rarely get to hear about the acting that takes place in these games. So I thought that was kind of a cool touch point for that
in
game.
That vein, kind of a little rabbit trail, but a really cool thing about the Man of Medan, the Man of Medan, the Mon of Medan, whatever you prefer.
The scene of the bean.
The Shaun of the Beyond. As you play the game, you unlock these documentaries, and you can go in the menu and watch these documentaries. So they've got a documentary on the history of horror anthologies, but some of them are like interviews with the actors who play the characters in this game, and it's really cool. So if you're into that kind of thing, like those things are worth watching, and watching Sean Astin explain how he played this really unlikable guy. Not how he describes him, but that's how it is.
They also announced Hitman 2's Haven Island expansion, which
Sean Ashmore, I said the wrong name.
Oh, I would have never noticed.
My bad.
So then they announced new DLC for Ace Combat 7, a new map for DayZ. They also showed a really cool trailer for a game called, and I keep forgetting the name, for Felix the Reaper, which is a comedy puzzle game about death. And
I love that tagline.
you need to go watch the trailer when you get a chance, because it was they were talking with the creator, showing footage from the game, and it sold me on the game. The game seems really cool, and that's coming October 17th.
I'm already interested in it, so yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah. And before we get to the bigger news from this, I do want to talk a little bit about the format of Inside Xbox. I connect with it so much better than I do with State of Play. Look, it's cheesy. It's got a lot of scripted banter back and forth, but the people who are doing it seem really excited about doing it. Anytime we get to see Major Nelson, it's awesome, because you don't assume he is who he is when you see him. Like, he doesn't look like the typical voice of a game company, but yet he has a childlike delight when talking about these games. It's just super refreshing and doesn't come across as very corporate to me. And I love that they did a lot of like, hey, we're going to bring this creator out, talk to them about their game, and let them kind of tell you what it's about. And it was not a playlist of YouTube videos. So I like this format a whole lot better than State of Play.
The transitions may be cheesy and there may be some forced dialogue, but it's still better than, wow, that was great. Now let's hear. Those voiceovers aren't better.
Yeah, no, not at all. They're just as cringy to me. They may not last as long, but their impact is just as felt. Yeah, definitely. Then they showed off. They announced that there's going to be a public test for Project Xcloud that's coming in October. You can sign up via a website. They're going to start sending invites out to select people who sign up. It's only for Android users to start, and then they'll expand to other devices. It's going to feature 4 games: Halo 5, Gears 5, Sea of Thieves, also known as Atlas. I'm just kidding. It's not. And Killer Instinct. So I think they're getting their hands around the messaging for xCloud a little bit better. And they really made the distinction of like, hey, there's two applications for xCloud, because I don't think they made this very clear at E3. There's the cloud streaming where, hey, anywhere you're at, you can stream from your phone. The beta is going to work on both Wi-Fi and cellular data. So that's one application. But then there is the home console server. You can play your Xbox on your phone as a like local server. So they did a little bit of better job, I thought, messaging that in the Inside Xbox than they did in at E3. But Larry, like, what are your thoughts on xCloud in terms of your excitement levels and just kind of what it means for the future of Xbox?
I'm really excited for it. I mean, primarily, right? Once I can play Halo 5 on a phone, I'll just be at work, right? On my desk, I'll have a book propped up, and I'll look like I'm reading. But I'm just playing Halo 5. That's not what I'll really do, I hope. But like, it's a really great way to capture the same like take on the road playability of the Switch. I mean, you're going to be limited by data, your connection to an internet, that kind of thing. But I'm really excited for this like point in gaming. And it makes mobile gaming a lot more interesting to be able to hook my controller up to my phone and play an actual shooter. Like, I know people play shooters on mobile, but I can't do it. Like, I'm with you. The controls are off. Like, this will be a really cool thing, I think.
And I just thought, I'm putting this thought together as I'm saying it. All right. So walk with me. We talked a lot about how like Apple Arcade is going to impact the mobile games industry. How much more is it going to impact the mobile games industry if this cloud streaming technology really takes off? And because I think it's a little bit of a Stockholm syndrome kind of deal going on with some of the mobile games that we play, and also a lot of just taking advantage of the human psyche. But yeah, if given the option to play fucking Candy Crush or Halo 5 Guardians on your phone, most people I think are going to select Halo 5 Guardians to play it. And, you know, barring the limitations that are involved in doing that. But I think between this curated experience that we're seeing in Apple Arcade, where you're paying $5 a month to play a lot of really high quality mobile games, and then the ability to play console quality video games on your phone via streaming, like, is that going to push out some of these more shitty take advantage of you style mobile games?
I think it absolutely will. Because at that point, what would you do? What other games would you want? You'd want like a fun mobile game you can play when you don't have access to data, right? And that's not those games that take advantage of you.
Yeah.
You got to be able to show that you're logging in every day and blah blah blah. And man, can't wait to just prop my phone up on the edge of my bathtub while I'm on the toilet just killing people in Halo 5.
Oh no, dude, it's even better than that. You can get one of those mounts that goes onto your controller and it keeps your phone up. That's what they show. And the cool thing about this is it's going to expand from your mobile device. You'll be able to play Project Xcloud on other devices as well. And so when you're at work, you just have it up on your laptop, man, and you just have the controller under your desk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big brain plays, Larry. You need to use your noggin a little more.
Yeah. So, you know, in a way, we may be seeing Skyrim move beyond the fridges into even more screens.
Definitely. And the cool thing about that, go ahead.
What I'm really excited about is to just see how this changes. Like, I think this is going to send big ripples through gaming. Because so much of game design is limited by current hardware, and then you're locked in for so long. And with this, like, with a lot of the power that is making the game happen being somewhere else, I think that we're going to see like the rate at which games improve, like, increase a little more rapidly. And I may be wrong, but I think this is going to be a great way to transcend the limitations of.
Yeah, I think there's also some. I don't know if you remember at the beginning of the Xbox One generation, there was a lot of talk about supplemental power through Microsoft Azure. And I imagine that that's going to be a runoff from Project Xcloud that they just don't want to talk about now because the messaging is still a little soft around what this is. But yeah. I think you have your powerful next generation Xbox, but it's made infinitely more powerful by the fact that it can connect to the Azure servers and deliver, better performance, better frame rates, better resolutions, better everything,
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I think xCloud has going for it, if I'm understanding it correctly, and I'm sure if I don't, somebody's going to correct me in the comments, and that's fine. I believe Stadia requires a porting effort from developers to get their games onto Stadia. Like, you can't just send them your PC disc and they load it up and Stadia can play it. Like, I think there's an architecture that they have to build it towards. Whereas xCloud, if you build your game for Xbox, it can be played via xCloud. And that's not just Xbox One and next generation Xbox. That is Xbox 360 and Xbox games, original Xbox games as well. And so xCloud is going to have an infinitely larger library of games to choose from than Stadia just out of the gate due to the way that the system on the back end is built.
And when you pair that with Game Pass. When you pair that with Game Pass, like, this is going to be a killer service, man. Mm-hmm. And it's beginning to look like they're going to have this off the ground in a really desirable way well before anybody else does.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we'll get Stadia at the end of this year.
But I'm not sure if it's going to have as appealing a library is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. And I think there's just a lot of people who don't want to tie their horse to the, hitch their wagon to the Google horse, because Google has such a reputation of bailing on these kinds of projects.
Yeah. I'm in that boat. I like Google. They do things well. I don't trust them to stick with it.
Let's see. They also announced some new games coming to Game Pass. Genesis Noir, Lonely Mountains Downhill, and Demon's Tilt are some of the indies. And then Jump Force, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and Lego Worlds are being added to the Xbox One lineup. And then City Skyline, Saints Row 4, and Bad North and Dirt Rally 2.0 are being added on PC as well. So the library for Game Pass grows as well. Overall, though, inside Xbox, like to quote the late great Arizona Cardinals coach Danny Green, they are who we thought they were, right? There were no big surprises that came out of inside Xbox. I think they are establishing a communication rhythm moving forward to where they will be able to leverage that platform to deliver messaging from all these studios that they've acquired. But it's good to get people in the rhythm of tuning into these things now, and then start to build on them later. Inside Xbox is cool. State of Play is cool. Nintendo Directs are cool. The fact that we don't have to wait for 1 or 2 times a year to get announcements is great. And just deal with the fact that they're spread out so that you're not going to get high volumes of earth-shattering news in these things.
And on that point, it's just a matter of you need to get with the times. Mm-hmm. Like, we live in an age of constant information. There's just this constant stream of information coming out. And so these companies are going to take advantage of that and just accept that the days of E3 being the gigantic event where we learn everything those are just gone, and that's okay.
Yeah,
because we don't have to wait till 1 week of the year to learn everything. That's got its own merits.
Yeah. All right, Larry, any parting thoughts on Inside Xbox or State of Play, anything that we've talked about tonight?
No, just I'm really excited to see what Xcloud will be like.
All right. Cool.
Throwing my name in that hat. Send me my invite, friend of the show, Phil Spencer.
He was a friend. He was a friend of the Player 3 podcast. I assume he listens to PvA radio all the time, but he's a busy man. He's still just patiently waiting for the next P3P episode to be uploaded.
He did finally give us Battletoads, though. So
that is true.
Mission accomplished. You're welcome, world.
That is true. Now, please, the next Fusion Frenzy.
Yes.